Hey, you're here. So happy to have you at Visibility Vixen, episode 24.
Have a take care list and really take care when you're doing things and deciding on what you're going to spend your time on so that you can have the ability to take care of what matters most.
Welcome to the Visibility Vixen podcast, where we create space to grow our brand with intention and clarity, one episode at a time. Join us as we explore the many aspects of entrepreneurship, start loving the journey instead of the destination, and begin building a legacy that lasts. Here's your host, Michelle Lewis.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we're talking to two incredible entrepreneurs, Linley and Lauren. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks. We're so happy to be here.
I am so happy that you guys are here too. Let's give our audience a little bit of your background of what you guys do. Linley and Lauren of LP2 Boutique Agency are biz besties, marketing mavens, and co-founders of Workshop and the Simple Social System, social media and goal-getting resources for small businesses, indie retailers, and boss babes just like you. Their business is to help you take care of business, but their purpose is to help you take care of you and what matters most in your life. I love that. So, Linley and Lauren, can you give me a little bit more in-depth look about what you guys are doing in your business right now?
Absolutely. So, Linley and I, we are babes, entrepreneurs, small business owners, and our background is in marketing, and we have an absolute passion for helping people tell their story. And so what we do is we work with other entrepreneurs, small business owners, to help them learn how to navigate the world of social media in a way that is simple and fun and really enhances their business without overwhelming them.
We really kind of understand that social media is simply a part of your business. It is not your entire business. And so Lauren and I have worked for teeny tiny companies, and we've worked for companies with revenues over $10 million. And we've kind of figured out how to use social media in a way that can get results, but is not going to be so overwhelming and time consuming that you don't have time to actually get your business or your work done.
I love that. That by far in my group and one-on-one is the biggest struggle. A lot of women have a hard time even getting into like Facebook or Instagram because they're so overwhelmed that they just don't take any action at all.
Exactly. And that's what we found is when people make it too difficult or when they get too overwhelmed by it, they just don't do it at all. It's kind of like some people don't like to budget, so they just ignore that part of their business or that part of their lives, right? Whenever we feel crippled by something, we kind of just put it on the back burner and act like it's not there. But social media is so powerful because no matter who you are, no matter what your voice is, no matter who your audience is, your tribe is out there, your potential customers are out there. And it can be a lot easier than people think that it could be. And so that's really what we try to do. Our system is called the Simple Social System because, like Linley said, we know that it's just a part of your business. And so we try to just work it in there where you can do exactly what you need to do to get results and forget about the rest.
So the goal is always kind of to avoid that analysis paralysis, like Lauren was saying, where you get so bogged down you can't do anything. And a lot of people look at social media for business kind of the same way they do their personal social media, where they're just, putting things out there spontaneously, thinking about what they want to do in the moment, and not looking at it as a strategic part of their business and not, developing goals and, what kind of results they want to see from what they're doing. So it can start to feel like you're spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere. So we kind of back it up and, really start from the beginning. Where do you want to go? What do you want to get from this? And how can you use social media to see success?
Exactly. So we actually start with goal getting. We don't believe in goal setting. We believe in goal getting. And when someone has goals in place for their business, overall goals, then they can take social media and use it as a tool to get to those goals. which a lot of people don't do. And it sounds so simple that it seems almost silly that we forget to connect our business goals with social media. But people feel like I have to be on social media, but they don't necessarily understand why. So we start with your business goals, and then how are we going to help you achieve that? And this all sounds really intense, right, and kind of boring, but we actually call ourselves social media entertainers because we think it should be fun. It is, a social channel. It's a social media for a reason, and so we try to make learning like a party.
That's right. Social butterflies, right?
I love that. Okay, so let's break this down actionably so that our audience can walk away with some tangible ideas. So let's say that they are about to launch a certain product. So let me take myself for example. I just finished creating an e-course called Branding Like a Badass. Let's say someone else is out there. Thank you. Someone else is out there and they have this course and they're like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to promote this? And the idea of them going to Facebook and then Instagram and then Twitter and then this and that is just way overwhelming. What are some actionable steps, maybe using my example where they can go, okay, this is what I can actually do and understand and not want to run away screaming?
Well, the very first thing to do is change the way that you think about social media. So a lot of times people think of it as just a free advertising platform, right? Where you're going to talk about what you're selling, what you're offering. That's a big turnoff. People, DVR and fast forward through commercials for a reason. Nobody wants to be sold to, and especially not on their phones or in their news feed. So what we do is we teach people the principle of give, get. So instead of saying, I have a new e-course, let me tell you about it. Don't you want to come buy my e-course? It's launching on this date. What we do is work with, we would work with you, for instance, to determine what is something that you could give to people that's related to your e-course. So it's related to the content that you can provide to them, but that they can use whether they buy it or not. So maybe you have a blog post where you go through, one of the more simple lessons in your e-course. And you break that into bite-sized posts, essentially, where for this week, you're going to talk about your blog. So, Linley, why don't you kind of go through our steps to going through an entire month's content plan in an hour or less?
Okay, so that's one of the things that we really look at is how are you strategically posting? And this can absolutely apply to a product launch because you look at the month and you get overwhelmed with 30 days, right? I have 30 days of posts. What in the heck am I going to put out there? I don't know. I'm not that creative. I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again. And so part of the Simple Social system is breaking that down. Okay, it's not 30 days. Let's think of this as 4 weeks, right? Because when you think about, marketing to people, one of the principles that we always remind folks is the rule of 7. Right? Somebody has to be exposed to something or see something or have be impressed on something 7 times before they ever recognize it, want to do business with you, are interested in the product. So how can you say something 7 times without, beating somebody over the head and getting them running the other direction, right?
Right.
So that's where when you break it down into this, we're going to go with 4 weeks of content, so 4 ideas for the month. And then you break it down, okay, week 1, what am I going to talk about? What's my theme? And give yourself kind of a structure for the week of an overall idea. So maybe it is your e-course launch is your, 1 week of content, and you're looking at 7 days, 7 ways that you can provide touch points that relate back to your course, but they're give before you ever get to the point where you're asking for the get.
So you plan out my content source. My step 1 is my content source this week is I have a product launch, so it's my e-course launch. Step 2 for the week is just picking that theme, which is as simple as saying what the e-course is. So it's branding like a badass, right? Did I get that right? Okay,
yes.
perfect.
Yeah, you're great.
Then the third thing is kind of seeing what else is going on around the world that maybe you can tie into what you want to talk about. One of the things that we see people struggle with is that, when we have a product, when we have a service, when we have a company, for the most part, we're talking about very similar things. for 365 days, right? I mean, your
Right.
products are going to be pretty similar. Your company isn't going to wildly change from week to week. And so what we like to do is tie things into holidays, seasons, even those trending hashtags that are so much fun, you know. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you are talking about whatever the silly hashtag is, if it's Donut Day, for instance, but you can do a play on words. So if it's National Donut Day, you can say, you do not want to do X, Y, or Z when it comes to branding your company.
Oh, cute.
And then give a free little bit of advice that would be in your course so that people start to see you as an expert, right? Because now you're giving them information that they can take into practice in their businesses. And then when you finally say, I've got an e-course, or you can sign up for my e-course to learn more, they see you as an expert. They know that you're an influencer. They've benefited from following you, and they're hungry for more. Or if they decide later, even if it's not right at that moment, that they need some help with branding, they're going to think of you because you've been teaching them. So that third step is to kind of look and see if there's anything going on in the world that you can tie your information into. And the fourth is just sitting down and planning your posts out.
That's where it can become really simple, is because as you're looking at your theme, again, that's your 1 week theme. So it's easy for you to look at that post and say, okay, I'm going to be talking about this all week. How can I talk about it in different ways? How can I, wrap it around National Donut Day? How can I show myself working behind the scenes on something? How can I, have different kinds of categories of posts that you're using so that you're not beating people over the head with the same exact information, but really and truly, if you look at it, if you peel back the layers, you're giving those 7 impressions without, selling and directly selling to them. It's more of an indirect soft sale that gets them asking you to buy your product instead of you telling them to buy it.
Yes, I'm loving this. This is so genius, ladies. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but wow. Love it. It's so actionable. It really breaks it down. And I am my number one word is clarity. I think clarity can bring so much, not only to, less overwhelm and more time, but it just brings more joy to what you do. So you guys have really nailed that to help people get more joy because they're able to break it down and showcase their skills. How cool.
One of the things that we really have, kind of centered our business around in that, talking about clarity and creating time and space for yourself is kind of the idea of take care. Lauren and I, as we both came out of the corporate world, working, more than 40-hour-week jobs, traveling, both mothers, really hungering for something more and more time and more freedom. That was a big part of it. But really, 2 words that kind of were resonating as we were talking about what our wants and needs were take care, because we felt like we were spending so much time taking care of someone else's business that we weren't taking care of the things that mattered most to us. So our faith, our family, our finances, our fitness, all of those things that are really super important. And so we try to really impart that in with every client that we work with everyone that's a part of our membership, is that, take care of those things and don't have a to-do list. Have a take care list and really take care when you're doing things and deciding on what you're going to spend your time on, so that you can have the ability to take care of what matters most.
And so in our business, that's why we try to help people boil their social media down to just a few hours a month, really, where they need to pay attention to it so that they can move on and take care of the other things that matter, which is not just about business. When we do goal getting with our clients, we set 3 business goals, but then we set 2 personal goals. We call them our high 5 goals, So we have almost as many personal goals as we do business goals because we don't really believe in work-life balance. That means that work is 50% and life is 50%. And, we own our own business. We absolutely think about it all day long. We text each other all of the time. But work is just part of our lives. And so when we teach people how to take care of their social media so that they can move on with it, then that frees them up to take care of the other things in their life that matter the most.
Absolutely. Well, and you guys really had that happen recently. For those of you guys listening, we've had to reschedule a couple times because Linley and Lauren were a part of a huge hurricane in Florida. So how was that experience in terms of you have your online business, but you were able to step back, take care of your family, prioritize that? For me, I feel like that would be such, I mean, of course you're going through a horrible experience, but there's a bit of relief in that, knowing that you guys are your own bosses, you have each other to lean on. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, it really was an amazing experience because our town was hit by, we call her meanie Hurricane Hermine, recently, and it knocked all of our power, our internet, all of sort of the infrastructure that we rely on, not just for the comforts of every day, but to run our business. And we first were very blessed because the customers that we work with, our members and our clients, were so understanding. And when we got on our phones and posted that, you know, we were going to have to take a couple of days off, that we had no way to work, that there was nowhere in town with power, there was no internet, everyone cared most that we were, you know, safe, that we were taking care of what mattered most in our life. And it really reinforced to us the purpose of our business and the reason that we've built it the way that we have, and the reason that we try so hard to take care of our customers, so that when we need to pause and take care of ourselves and our families, they understand.
I think that's a big part too of, you know, knowing that you have the right client base and attracting people to you that are, you know, not only, you know, are we helping them, but they are the right customers and clients for us as well, because they are the type of people that understand this and that want for us to take care of what matters most, because we've made sure that we, you know, impart to them how important that is for us and their lives. But it really was amazing, and that's the beauty to me of having a partnerpreneur, you know, being in business with Lauren, is that we can lean on each other. You know, Lauren ended up having to go stay in a hotel because her power was out a few days longer than mine at my house. But even though power was on at my house, we still had no internet. So we actually holed up at the hotel lobby for a few days and had to do some video broadcasts from the hotel lobby, you know, partook in the breakfast down there a few days while we were working. But it was so nice because we could lean on each other. And, you know, if she needed something, you know, I could take care of it. And if I needed something, vice versa. You know, if she's going out of town on vacation, I can hold the fort down and make sure she's taking care of her family and doesn't feel burdened by that. And the same thing goes for me. You know, we're very protective of each other in that way because it is so important to us and it is such a part of our business.
I find that to just be such a cool thing that touches on so many, in a way, pain points for our listeners, because that's why they've started the entrepreneur journey. You know, I don't think any of it's for necessarily like glory or any of that. They want to be able to take care of their family. They want to be able to invest in their partner. They want to be able to take vacation and all of that. And I think what you guys have built is so beautiful.
Thank you.
We really have enjoyed it. You know, we are mompreneurs, as Linley mentioned, and this summer, for the first time in our children's lives, we were home with them while also building our business. And so we got up very early. When we were home, we had some travel things that we did for work this summer too, but we worked really early in the morning on through early afternoon, and then we had afternoon adventures with our kids. You know, the freedom that we have as female entrepreneurs to be able to design our own lives is very empowering. And we have really enjoyed being able to create that for ourselves.
And to have our children see that that's possible. You know, it's really exciting for them to know what we're doing in our business, to ask questions that they would never be able to ask or even think to ask, you know, if we were working a corporate job where they never knew exactly what it was we did every day. You know, it's very funny to hear their perspective on what we're doing, but they're also, you know, surprisingly respectful of our business, you know, when we do have to work, because we have the time to spend with them and make that a priority too. So it is, you know, they understand, okay, this is working time. I'm going to focus. I'm going to read a book, whatever it is that they're doing, you know, a project or something. because they know that they're going to get undivided time at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I love that. So for both of you, what is your biggest focus right now?
Well, as Linley mentioned, one of the biggest priorities in our life is our Christian faith. And so that really is always our focus, to make sure that we are building a business that is respectful of that faith and that reflects that to others, to our customers. And that also moves into our home life, of course. But we are very devoted wives, mothers. Our kids are keeping us busy. It's that fall season where, we're all over the place with them. And then building our business. We are in an amazing period of growth right now, where we found some new opportunities recently that we're just starting to build out. And whenever something like that happens, it becomes, sort of always on your mind, always on your heart. But we're enjoying it because we've hit a really nice stride that we're getting to see after a year of evolution of business, kind of a lot of things come together and come to fruition. And then we both have our own individual interests. I right now am working on running and some fitness goals for myself. Linley is working on house projects for love. I'll let you talk to yours, though.
Well, I was going to say, I always am kind of looking at doing things, within my home, and I have a really 1950s home, and so there's always things like something to be done. But also my kids I have 2 boys, and they're getting really involved in sports. They both play football, and it has been so awesome to be able to be present for everything that they're doing, really be able to go to practice and be there. So many times in the past, I would be somewhere and I would not really be there. I would be looking at my phone. I would be, frantically checking. I would be stressed out. I would be worried I was going to miss something. There was going to be some deadline. Something was happening. And that's the beauty, too, of what we're doing, is that there are times when I'm on my phone. It's not that I'm, completely disconnected. It's that I have the choice. I can tell Lauren, I'm going to be at practice for 2 hours. I'll check in and work on this, at 9 o'clock tonight. And that's fine, because that's the decisions that we make. And that's the other thing, you were talking about our goals for right now, or what we're really focused on. We're really looking at fourth quarter and what's coming up in our business, and kind of pushing now to set ourselves up so that we have flexibility in the holiday season. We've never really been home for any length of time over the holidays. We were just starting our business last year at the holiday season. And so we were kind of head in, really focused on it. We had a huge event January 1st, or right thereafter. And so this holiday season, it's okay, this is going to be the first time, just like this summer, being able to be there with the kids, but looking at, okay, gosh, I might be able to actually take 4 days off at Thanksgiving, and cook a full meal and spend time with my family, and not be worried about, what's happening on Black Friday, or something like that crazy, that is allowing us to have that really freedom.
As we're talking, I realize none of it sounds incredibly extraordinary at the moment, but I think that that's what is extraordinary about where we're at right now, is that we're actually in a really lovely season of contentment, where we're getting to enjoy the ordinary while also building a business that is fun and helpful. And so I think that that's where we're at. We're just very content and happy right now to be taking care of the people that we love in our lives and ourselves and our business.
I do want to mention, though, just for your listeners, because I know, it's boss babes, it's entrepreneurs, it's women that are making it happen. And I don't want it to sound so rosy that everything is perfect all the time. Because as, all of as I'm sure there are challenges. We do have financial goals that we set for our business, and sometimes we meet them and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we have to, readjust and look at things, and sometimes we have to look at each other and go, what in the hell are we going to do? or this is amazing. This was the best thing that ever happened, and we celebrate that, you know. And so there are definitely, you know, highs and lows, but again, we're building it for ourselves, and so it always seems like the right thing. Whatever it is, the stress, the celebration, you know, the excitement, the nervousness, the anxiety, you know, the calm, it always feels like the right thing because we're taking that step forward to grow our business.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you brought that up. I think that's interesting because I was at coffee with a friend last week and she goes, you just have the most perfect, like you're setting up your business so well and everything's just like rainbows. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I picture that you wake up and you get your tea and you just like casually check your emails and you just effortlessly go from thing to thing. And I was like, what? That could not be further from the truth. But I do think that for some reason we do, like at least for me, sometimes like hearing what you guys are talking about, I go, that's the dream. That's so wonderful to be able to bring in your own income, but be there for your kids and all of that. So sometimes I think that person that's just one step ahead of you, you kind of see it as this pie in the sky, but you need that a little bit to feel motivated because that's the future that you're designing for yourself.
Absolutely. And, you know, this is actually part of a problem that social media perpetuates. It's even in people's personal lives. You see other people's vacations. You see their homes. You see all of these perfect pictures, and you compare yourself to that, right? And it's very easy to do that. But what you don't see necessarily is their credit card bill or the really messy room that's not shown on the camera, or the argument that she and her husband got in a minute ago, you know? So it's like everyone has fabulous parts of their lives that we want to celebrate, but we have to be realistic. Everyone also has moments that aren't picture perfect. And in entrepreneurship, you know, that is absolutely the case. You know, there are statistics that, you know, businesses fail for a reason, and there are bad days at the office, even when it's an office within your home. We really believe in building each other up as females and being realistic and honest. But like you said, also looking ahead and looking at other people that are a little further ahead and being inspired by that. You know, and we hope, what's the quote? Don't compare your beginning to someone else's end. Yeah. Kind of flubs that one, huh?
Right.
But that was good, though.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
True, you know, because you don't want to, you know, look at where you are now and necessarily think that you're a failure. Linley and I have talked a lot today about all the extra time we have with our kids, but, you know, there are also days where we're traveling for work and it's just the two of us and we have to set an event up, and I'm blowing up balloons by myself because Linley is at UPS waiting on a box that's been lost. It's a promo item that we promised someone, and she's in tears because we don't think it's going to make it there.
That hurts
I'm
my
setting
heart.
up a room by myself. You know, like, you know, having to clean boxes, and you're tired, and you're looking around going, where's everybody else to do this? And then you realize it's just the two of you.
That's right. There is no one to delegate this to.
But then the next day, when the event happens, you're so proud because you did it. So, you know, we're working just as hard as the next gal. We just are enjoying it.
I do think also, you know, talking about social media and what's out there on social media, you can see the power of building a brand with social media because you can choose what you're showing. You can choose to build a, you know, a persona, a brand around social media that can be very, very powerful. And we do encourage our clients to be authentic. You know, this isn't about going out and faking something, but, you know, it is about showing the best side of your business and attracting people to work with you based on, you know, what you're putting out there on social media. So, you know, that is the power that you have when you harness that, you know, kind of social media beast for your business.
Yeah, we follow someone that we don't personally know, but they do some health coaching. And they are always, actually it's one person, he's always complaining about how hard it is. and how terrible it is and how much it hurt and how unenjoyable it was. And we're like, why is this what you're putting out there and projecting to people? Because you want to say, that was hard, but I feel great now. Look at the benefits that I'm getting. While we don't want to put up fronts and be fake, like Linley said, you do want to inspire others and have them want what you have.
And we actually, when we had our very first brand photo shoot, which we really highly recommend if you're building a brand, if you're starting out on social media, is to have, some professional pictures done. There's an incredible photographer here in Tallahassee that we worked with, and he said something that actually Lauren and I have kind of developed into what we talk to our clients about, is that he photoshops the photo, but he leaves what he calls a acceptable flaw.
Yes,
right? So
my husband
you're going
does
to look
the same
at the photo.
thing. Yeah.
Yes. And so it's not fake, or you can tell yourself it's not fake because it's not so perfect, that someone has totally airbrushed it. There's an acceptable flaw that makes it realistic. And so that's where we talk about in your business, if you're, when you're being authentic, what are the kind of things that you're comfortable sharing with people? What's your acceptable flaw? You don't want to open up the can of worms and share every terrible thing with people on social media because you'll turn them off. That becomes something that's almost painful to look at. But there are things that actually help people if they know that you're going through the same thing that they are, that you're a real person, that you actually have, real feelings or real world problems. But determining and kind of strategizing what those are is very important for your brand and your business on social media.
And now everyone can have fun looking at our pictures and trying to determine what our acceptable flaws are, right?
It's true, though. My husband, he's a camera guy, and he also does photography on the side. We just did a photo shoot last weekend, and we do the airbrushing, and then it's at like 100%, which is like the fakest of the fake, but we bring it all the way down to about 32. That way there's a little smoothness to the skin, but you're still seeing like the, wrinkles when you smile that are unique to you and those kinds of things. I think that's so important and just really beautiful. And I love the term acceptable flaw. Love it. So let's talk.
We wish we didn't have any, right?
Oh, I know.
We're not perfect.
But then, you know what? These other female entrepreneurs out there wouldn't be following us, wouldn't be inspired by us because they'd see it as unattainable. So I'm like, hey, all the flaws are hanging out. Like, if I can do it, anybody can do it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's talk really quick about your favorite social media tool.
Oh gosh, that's a tough one. We've got a whole arsenal.
Oh, I bet.
I will say one of our very favorites. This is one that when we started using it, we actually cried. This was at the beginning of our business, probably around last year, after we had been kind of, really scheduling posts and being, really, really active on social media. We discovered Schedugram, which was the very first scheduling program for Instagram.
Well, there are other ones out there that say they schedule and they don't actually post for you. So what they do is basically set up a reminder on your phone, and then you still have to go do it. Schedugram was one of the first that will actually post it for you. And there is one or two other ones out there, but what we really love about Schedugram is that not only does it post for you, but it will post your first comment for you, where you include all those extra hashtags.
Oh, you just gave me chills.
You're following.
Yes.
So, we found everyone has their own unique time. So I'm going to say these times, and don't everybody run out and go start posting only on these times. You have to figure out what your audience's best time is. But 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., those are our golden hours on Instagram. And so we were posting every night at 9 p.m. And even on the weekends, on Fridays, on Saturdays, those are our biggest days. So the first time that we used Schedugram on the weekends, and at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night, that post went up, and then the comments went up, and we were getting like notifications on our phone. We both cried. Like, beauty pageant and happy tears fanning your face.
Right. It sounds so silly, but it's just one less thing, one less way that you have to be tethered to your phone, right? You can plan a whole entire week of posts. You can write all the captions, and you can do it at one time and be done. Set it and forget it. You do have to look at comments, obviously, make sure no one's asking you a question or saying anything that you need to respond to. But in terms of the active, posting, commenting, tagging, anything like that, it's done for you. So that's one of our very favorites.
So actually that kind of brings us to our take care list that your listeners might be interested in, which is for social media. At a bare minimum, this is kind of the schedule that we suggest people do, which is once a month, sit down, get a coffee, or we're Southern girls, so grab a Diet Coke, or our favorite is to get a glass of rosé. And plan your entire month's content ahead of time. Now, that doesn't mean write it and take all the pictures, but just know what you're going to post for the entire next month. And you can knock that out in an hour if you use that process that we talked about earlier. Then every single week, sit down and generate your content at one time and schedule it out. So on Facebook, you can just schedule it directly on Facebook. On Instagram, use Schedugram. And then that leaves your daily interaction just being responding to messages and comments, which is super important, so don't ignore it. But that is kind of your minimum take care list. Now, there's extra things you can do. We love
growing your list.
Stories. We love doing things to grow your following. We absolutely love Facebook Live broadcasts. But at a bare minimum for people, monthly planning your content, weekly scheduling it out, and daily responding will get you better results than you're probably getting now, spending hours and hours and hours a week going, what am I going to post? What should I talk about?
What is it, Lauren? Like something like 23 minutes that it takes you to get in and out of any activity?
So it takes a person an average of right under 25 minutes to get their focus when it's a task. So if you're handling your posts individually, you are wasting 25 minutes on average in addition to the time it actually takes you to do the task. And so when you sit down at one time and write everything out and schedule it, you're only wasting that 125-minute setup fee, kind of,
Yeah.
And then you can knock it all out. So you can save hours a month by batching your work that way.
And if you happen to be, ADD like me, it's a lot more because I'm bouncing in and out of other things, and something catches my eye, and then I go back to post it, and then there's something on Facebook. It really does help those of us that are, easily distracted when you can focus your time and get it done and then not have to think about it again.
I love that. And I love that this whole conversation has really been around increasing your visibility with the least amount of stress. So thank you so much. It's been so much fun talking to you guys.
So much fun for us, too.
Let's talk really quick about the gift that you're offering our listeners today. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, one of the ways that we work with fabulous boss babes like your listeners is through a monthly subscription where each week you receive a video training that ranges from 15 to 45 minutes, a guide on a social media tool, and a printable worksheet that helps you implement it into your business. And so we're really providing a comprehensive look at new social media tools, what you need to pay attention to, what you can ignore, how you can use them. We provide a marketing plan for the upcoming month, including a lot of creative ways that you can work it into your content to kind of take all that guesswork out. And then we also provide a social media advertising strategy, because today we focused on content, but social media ads are the fastest way to really reach a targeted demographic or a targeted group of people who have similar interests that would be perfect customers for you.
That would be, we talked about branding like a badass. That would be the next step, right? We talked about sharing that content, but really doing a targeted ad, that's the way you're really going to get that launch out there and get lots of response.
So we are offering a free month in our membership to your listeners. And the great part about this free month is not only are you going to get everything that we're sending out for the 30 days that you are a member, but we also have an archive section. So here's just a little tip and trick for you guys, a cheat. You can go back into the archives and you've got access to everything our membership has ever included. So you're actually getting several months for free.
Love it. Oh, that's fantastic, ladies. Thank you so, so much for that amazing gift. I want to thank you for braving the hurricane, coming out of it stronger, for your beautiful partnership that I know everyone is just sitting there going, oh, I hope I can find a fellow partnerpreneur in crime in my business. That's such an inspiring thing.
Oh, gosh.
It's just
We highly
amazing.
recommend having a biz bestie, whether you're actual partners or not.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for your patience, especially to our audience. I know you've probably been hearing planes go overhead. Burbank decided to change their flight path today, so thank you for dealing with that. But I'm just so happy that you guys came on the show today. I will link all of this below so you guys can do all these clickable links to things that they were talking about, like Schedugram and their free month. So click for that. Follow them on Instagram. Those links will be below too. But overall, thank you so much for your time and helping our ladypreneurs increase their visibility today.
Well, thank you for the show. We are just really glad to be a part of it. We love what you're doing and are just really honored and blessed to be here with you.
Well, thank you so, so much. Thank you for everything that you're doing out there to touch ladies in the world.
Thanks for listening in today to the Visibility Vixen podcast. Subscribe now and share with a fellow Vixen who wants to start building their visibility. For more fire in your life and brand, visit visibilityvixen.com.